Well, welcome tonight. It's a big night. We're talking about blood sugar control and nutrition. You know, I'm excited because of what this is going to do with so many of you in your lives. It's really going to enhance it. It's going to change it. And for some of you, it's going to actually save it here in the next 6 months to a year. It's going to be an amazing thing that you do for not just your health, but for people that love and care about you, your spouses, your kids, your parents. This is such a big thing. It's epidemic. I've had 2 phone calls in my life. I don't know if you've been in this boat, and it's not a good boat to be in, that have actually just shooken me to my core. First phone call was December of 2012. That's the day my mom died. My brother called me, and he found her in bed. She had died from acute alcohol poisoning. Horrible day, obviously, in the office. Almost like last May, so not a little over a year ago, I get another call from my father's fiance saying that your dad is in bad shape. He almost died today. His blood sugar went up to 700, and so if you know that's like he was dying on the way. I don't know how he did it, but he drove himself to the hospital to the emergency room, and he couldn't see, he couldn't talk, and he couldn't really walk. His body was just shutting down on all cylinders, so to speak, and so obviously I that was right after a morning shift. So obviously we closed. I was there the rest of the day with him. At 2 hospitals later, they finally got him stable, and I can tell you this. So I'm in there, and on the way thinking there, my head is in a weird place. Obviously, I'm not thinking rational, but the one thing I am thinking about is how was I not able to help my dad? Have you ever spoken to family about health? A lot of you that are patients, about what you do, and they don't get it. I'm no exception. It's hard in my family too. It is very hard. And sometimes, thankfully, he didn't die, and he was able to make a life change. But it took him almost dying to do it. I don't want that for anybody. It's a miserable place to be. I remember this, and we have amazing doctors, amazing nurses that can save your life in a crisis. But man, I'm telling you, it was a nightmare in the hospital. And I have a lot of awesome nurses that are patients. This was not an awesome nurse that I had dealings with. This nurse had horrible bedside manner. This nurse was telling my dad in the weirdest way. I was trying to process what she was saying, but I remember her telling my dad, "Congratulations, you're a diabetic, and you're going to be a diabetic the rest of your life. You're going to be checking your blood sugar. You're going to always have to monitor it." This metformin, because they had given him so much insulin just to get him down. Now, again, crisis, he was dying. Thank goodness he was in the ER so they could stabilize him. That's what it's for. But it's not there to get you healthy. And you need to know the difference if you're really wanting to live a healthy life. Hospital's not getting you healthy, they're saving your life. Big difference. And so here's where the difference comes. They gave my dad a lot of insulin. They told him that you're going to have to take metformin for the rest of your what? Life. And so my dad's hearing this, he's depressed, he's mad, and he thinks that's it. And so I'm trying to let this woman talk because they did a good job saving his life, right? I respect that. But she kept going at it. She kept telling my dad, okay, so you need to make sure you carry around some candy or some sweets, so if your blood sugar gets low, you can eat it and your blood sugar comes back up. I had it at that point. I had it. I turned to my dad, I'm like, stop, don't listen to what she's saying. You the same thing that caused you to be like this, we need to get to the what? Cause. Let's fix this so you can overcome it. You can reverse this. Don't let her scare you into thinking you can't. So she got into it with me. Save you all some of the details, but people were threatened in the hospital, and it was me. I was threatened to be kicked out. So, but finally, I can tell you this: 2 months go by. My dad is off metformin in 2 months. It's been a year now since he's been on any medication for diabetes. His blood sugar is now between 95 and about 105. That's where it hangs out. It's awesome. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because some of you need to stinking hear that. You've been on diabetic medication for years, and you think you can't get over that. You're being lied to by a lot of people that want to make money off you. Drug companies love you if you're diabetic. You know that? They love you. They love you because they can make a lot of money off you for a very long time taking their medications. Oh, and by the way, the drugs that you take cause other problems that guess what you're going to be prescribed for? Other meds. So you are a lifelong customer to a drug company, and now they're trying to prescribe diabetic medication to kids. Now, here's the thing. What we're talking about are rules that if you follow, it can change your life. Now, what's awesome about this is it works. It works all the time. It works. You just got to do what? You just got to follow the rules. Say, follow the rules. Follow the rules. There's actual rules of stuff you need to do. If you do it, it works. I have seen, just in my practice, in 10 years, I've seen crazy stuff in a month. I have a 30-day challenge I'm going to get into with you. You can make a significant change in your blood sugar in 30 days. I have seen 30, 40, 50. I've seen a 100-point drop in blood sugar in a month. Don't believe me? Patients, that's here. I can tell you that. It happens. Happens a lot. Do you want to know how that works? Good. That's why you're here. Now, this is big. I'm going to get into this because it's an epidemic, diabetes, and where we're at. It's epidemic. You're going to find out it doesn't always have to do with sugar. It's lifestyle. My dad's lifestyle was bad for 2 years. He had tons of stress. They were making him do at work mandatory overtime, meaning you don't get paid. They just work you 6 days a week, and you're working 60-hour work weeks for 2 years straight. And my dad's in his 60s, so that's not good for anybody, but mind you, my dad's in his 60s. And on top of that, my dad was skipping meals, he wasn't eating, he was staying up, he was stressed, he wasn't exercising. You add that up for enough time, that's how you get your blood sugar to 700 and you almost die. So it's a lifestyle thing, meaning here's the good news about this. If lifestyle can induce this, guess what your lifestyle can also do? It can reverse this. You need to hear me say this. I'm going to say it a lot. Nearly all type 2 diabetes can be completely reversed without drugs, without medication. Nearly all. I am serious on that. And you know what? Even type 1, you can reverse a ton of it and be better, be healthier by these rules we're going to talk about. But you're going to have to hear that a lot because I know I'm already see resistance. No, you're not talking about me. Turn to your neighbor and say, he's talking to you. Because I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to you. That's big. But you guys understand, really what it is your body, it's type 1 or type 2, and we'll talk about the differences, but basically diabetes is you can't take glucose into your cells for energy. There's a couple different ways you can't do it, but that's what it is. So you do need glucose, but you're going to find out some cool stuff as we get into this. You guys excited, man? I'm excited to see y'all's lives change with this. This is going to be, if you're a guest, if this is your first time to even hear me, can I raise your hand? I'm not going to make you do something funny, but raise your hand. Okay, awesome. Welcome. Thank you so much. Give me a big round of applause because it takes a lot to show up to a community center to hear this. Man, I'm telling you, I always believe God brings people to these days so you can really get your life changed. I really do believe that. But when we talk about something like diabetes, it's bad. It's getting so bad. Check this out. This was the first time in 1994 that the states had to report their numbers on obesity. So basically what you're seeing in here, I know it's hard to see, but you're seeing this. This is BMI readings of all the states. This is the average of all the people that they had. So you talk about millions and millions and millions of Americans. So back in 94, you look at BMI ratings. You had these color states were less than 10% BMI. You had a little bit darker, 10 to 14%, and then these kind of navy dark like blue was 15 to 19% BMIs. So you're seeing that then. So just mind you, look at this. The highest you saw was about 19% BMI in those states. This was last year. So you're seeing different colors for a reason, because last year when they did this, they did the more numbers. They had to combine. Check this out. They combined all of these BMI numbers into one thing. And no state is there. That's how bad it's gotten. So now what we call a good color, these 4 states, they're 20 to 25% of their population of that state. That's their BMI. It's 20 to 25%. That's the average. It gets worse. 25 to 30%. That's the states in yellow. Texas, we're really bad. 30 to 35% obesity rate is our state as of last year. 30 of the population, that much. 35% average is these states. Obesity. That's obesity. 35%. So it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. Now I'm not saying that if you're overweight, you're diabetic, but you'll find that there's a correlation there. Well, why? Here's why. Because the very same things that cause somebody to gain weight also causes somebody to be diabetic. They go together. So if we can follow rules on just healing, say healing. Healing. If you can get your body to heal and function properly, guess what should happen to your blood sugar if it's high? Should start coming down. Guess what happens if you are trying to lose weight? Guess what you should be able to do? Lose some weight. Because these rules are rules for a reason. And we're going to find out that you're being lied to on a lot of stuff, and it's confusing. And you're going to find out if you are trying to lose weight, and you're trying, and it's not that, the knock on this, because I meet a lot of people, and you'd be amazed how people that are overweight, they are trying hard to lose weight. They're trying really hard. But they're following a system that will never allow them to lose weight. That's why they stay where they're at, and it's frustrating. So we got to do something opposite of what everybody else is doing. Did you know right now that 15 years ago, 3% of kids were diagnosed with type 2? Let me rewind. 3% of kids diagnosed with diabetes were diagnosed with type 2. Now it's 50% of kids diagnosed with diabetes type 2, which is typically called what? Adult onset. No. It's getting into kids now. 40% of children in this country are overweight. 2 million kids are actually morbidly obese in this country. It's getting bad. And we're talking about genetics. It's not genetics. You don't inherit that stuff, but you do inherit something called lifestyle. And so what we're noticing is when the parents are doing stuff and they're diabetic or they're overweight, you're typically going to see the kids do what the parents do, follow the same patterns, and guess what they're going to end up with? Some of the same outcomes, right? It's called lifestyle. It's not genetics. That's a cop-out. It's lifestyle, right? So diabetes impact on your body. This is big to know. A lot of stuff over the years. Heart, blood vessel damage, eye, kidney, and nerve damage. It affects your nervous system, absolutely. Increases risk of heart disease and stroke. 50% of diabetics die from cardiovascular disease. 50% of them. That's a high number, so it affects the heart. Lowers your immune system and your ability to heal. Leading cause of blindness and kidney failure. Damaged nerves, neuropathy. A lot of people have to have things amputated. Big. Okay? Oh, by the way, it costs you a lot of money. Amen. Yeah. Which is not good. This is hard-earned money you've been working your tails off for, you want to retire with. But I'll tell you something, you are going to spend a lot if you're diabetic, especially if you get diagnosed around 30 and you're lucky enough to live with that disease till you're 70. You're spending, they did the average, about $300,000 over those 40 years with your medication spending, with your hospital stays, with surgeries, with you name it. That's the average. So think of what you can do with saving money. You can actually enjoy it, right? I mean, enjoy it. It's okay to enjoy it. But the fix for this, it's not in a hospital. It's not in a doctor's office. Guess where it starts with? Say you. It's you. It's me. It starts in our homes. It starts with us. Because who's really responsible for your health? Is it me? I'm responsible for my health and my family's, for sure. But who's responsible for your health? You are. Don't let a doctor dictate to you what to do. You're in charge. You can make things happen. So here's the problem. So it's different types of diabetes, basically type 1 and 2. So you're looking at a pancreas that's healthy here. This is a healthy person. Pancreas is going to make insulin, okay? So insulin is a hormone. So understand the job of insulin. It's got a lot of jobs, not just one, not just sugar, but one of the jobs is to tell a receptor. Your cells have receptors all around them. Basically, it's signaling it. Insulin is going to tell the receptor, take that sugar or glucose into your cell and use it for energy. That's a great thing. So in healthy people, that works really well. But if you're type 1 diabetic, you don't make insulin. You just don't. So that's a problem. So if you're not making insulin, you're not telling receptors to bring sugar into the cells. So you have a high blood sugar. It's high. It's not getting absorbed and used. Type 2 is typically known as adult onset, but it's in tons of kids, so it's really just type 2 now. What's happening is your pancreas makes insulin fine, and you have blood sugar that's ready to get into the cells. But the problem is, it's not a sugar problem, it's a hormone problem. Say hormone. Hormone. So your insulin cannot communicate with the receptors on your cells. It's a deregulation hormone problem. If you look this up and look at the science on this, it's more of a hormone problem than a sugar problem. So it's a big deal. So it's an insulin signaling problem. Some really big things you want to know on testing. Oh, you're going to love me on this because we're going to make this easy to understand. I know you're thinking, oh gosh, he's teaching me. No, I'm going to show you, make this easy, okay? So this is what everybody is familiar with is your fasting blood sugar test. When you have your blood work done, they tell you not to eat so you can fast, and they're checking, this is a many things, they're checking your blood sugar. So normal fasting, or what's considered normal, is less than 100 fasting, meaning you haven't eaten anything, you take your blood sugar level, it's under 100, great. Okay, pre-diabetic, if you're between 100 and 125 fasting blood sugar, that's the category you get put in. Oh, and did you know that 60% of people that are pre-diabetic have no sneaking clue they're pre-diabetic? They have no idea. They have no signs, no warning signs, nothing. But their body is in a diseased state. Okay, that's big. Some markers on this, if your triglycerides are really high and your HDL is really low, that's actually that's a precursor to this. You might be in that pre-diabetic category if you have that combination, just FYI. But diabetic, 125 or higher, fasting blood sugar, you get labeled it right away, okay? And guess what they tell you to do? Take a bunch of drugs. Okay, better tests, fasting insulin tests. That's your blood glucose over time. So fasting insulin, most of you might not even had this test done because doctors really don't do this. But understand this is more important because this is going to tell you more of an accurate reading. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people are insulin resistant, but they still have normal blood sugar levels. And that can happen for up to a decade. That can happen for a decade, meaning you're in the diabetic state, but you have a normal fasting blood sugar. So this isn't the best test. Now, it's good to do testing, don't get me wrong, but don't base everything you do on one test. You need to look at the big picture. So normal, less than 5, really good fasting insulin, less than 3. Leptin, these both are big hormones when it comes to weight and blood sugar. Insulin is the hormone that tells your body it's hungry, right? Feed me, that's insulin. Fasting leptin is a hormone that tells your brain that you are full. You don't need to eat anymore. Those are pretty big, important hormones, right? So guess what happens if they get out of balance? You got one hormone keeps telling your brain you're hungry, even though you're eating. You're like, what are you doing? I'm so hungry. We want this to be balanced. So these are big tests. Okay, A1C. This is touted as a great test. I'm going to tell you something. There's some flaws with the A1C test. Why? It's basically testing. It's supposed to be a 3-month, check on your red blood cells to see how much sugar is in them. It's supposed to be a great test, longevity test, right? Okay. Problem is, the assumption is that everybody's red blood cells live 3 months. That's not true. People that are healthy, they have normal blood sugar levels, they have longer living blood cells. So think logically on this. If your blood cells live longer, they're going to accumulate a little bit more sugar over time. But somebody that's anemic or diabetic, their blood cells die faster. They don't live as long. They don't live 3 months. So you get a lot of false readings on that test. So you can't hang your hat on an A1C. You can't. Yeah, I tell you what, with my dad, this really got the doctor that had my dad on metformin really mad, because in 2 months, my dad's blood sugar was pretty awesome, from 700 down to like 100. But his A1C was still not showing it was good because it had only been 2 months. It hadn't been, 3 or 4, right? So the doctor's still scared and scaring him. I'm like, Dad, you're doing good. Don't listen to that stinking test. But this is why it gets confusing. Here's better tests. Fasting insulin should be the test you look at. Number 1, fasting insulin. The second test should be a glucose test after you eat. What is your blood sugar after you eat a meal? So you can take, it's called, I'm going to say it, it's either a glucometer or a glucometer. I'm from Texas, glucometer. You get one of those and you test it 2 hours after you eat. So if you're less than 140 after 2 hours of eating something, your blood sugar, that's actually healthy. That's healthy. If you're between 140 and 199, that's pre-diabetic. And if you're over 200 2 hours after you eat a meal, then yeah, you're in that diabetic state, right? If you consistently shoot that, that's where you are. Big. Okay, leptin and insulin, really this is what it's all about. These are the hormones that have such a big factor in not just blood sugar and weight, but they have big factors into just health and longevity. So we want to make sure we are really doing well with communicating with these two hormones. If you keep them in check, it could really be the fountain of youth. People that have really good leptin and fasting insulin levels, they age better, they don't have the disease. People are really doing a lot of research into those two hormones as a basis of overall health. So that's just a little food for thought there. So you're diagnosed with diabetes. Now what? Now what do we do? Well, obviously, guess what? We want to get you to where you don't have to get to that category, because from a financial standpoint, and you know this, if you're diabetic, it doesn't matter if you reverse it and you don't have it anymore, you're still labeled diabetic, and if you're trying to get insurance, your premiums are a lot higher. You're going to pay a lot more for the rest of your life. So I hate that, but you're still not going to have diabetes. You're going to reverse it. Okay, you are going to reverse it. But if you're pre-diabetic and you can change it now, it's going to save you a lot in just healthcare costs. So it's a win-win. It's going to be good. Okay. So insulin therapy, that's typically the first place people go to when they're diagnosed. Now the big on this is, it's kind of depressing because you're told you take this for how long? Forever. Yeah, no, interact with me, guys. You choose ever, and you never get off. Now, the doses typically get more with time. Now, there was this huge meta-analysis done recently. It was in the British Medical Journal, and they studied, when you see meta-analysis, that means tens of thousands of data of people, right, with diabetes over a long period of time. Do these drugs, have they made a change in their life, right? Are they not having heart disease? Are they not having cancer? Are they living a longer life with these meds versus if they didn't? And what they found out was kind of shocking. Number one, people that are just on insulin therapy over time, well, it increases their risk of developing cancer. It increases the risk of actually dying from a heart attack. Matter of fact, it's a 43% increase in cardiovascular mortality if they're on them for long term. That's what the long-term studies show, that it increases risk. A 19% increase in all-cause mortality. That means just dying from it just increases your risk of dying by 19%. Do you want to take that drug for the rest of your life? I don't, right? But physically, people aren't told about this. You just take it. Oh, it's not. There's no side effect. The nurse told my dad there's no side effects to metformin. Yeah, I know. What little hair I have, I wanted to pull it out. I was so mad at what she was saying on that. Okay, Advania. This was touted in '99 as the diabetic drug. This was the one to replace everything. It's going to make insulin more sensitive to receptors. It's going to make it work better. Well, the problem was they figured this thing out and they were trying to cover it up, but this was causing actually more strokes and heart attacks in people. 80,000 reported strokes. Do you understand that number? 80,000 people suffered that. Heart failure, other complications, taking this drug. This came out in 2007. They just now took this drug off the market with restrictions. It took them 10 years to retract that drug, even though it did that type of damage, right? And it still doesn't get to the cause of it. This is all symptom treatment. What does treating symptoms get you? More symptoms and broke. You said broke. You're absolutely right. Broke. So it's not getting to the cause. The other drugs, metformin, there's a whole list of stuff. Again, we want to make changes. But it's big business. Like I said, drug companies love diabetic patients. They can make a lot of money off you. They do. If you don't think it's about that, you got to grow up. It's about that. Now, the doctors want to help, but guess who's telling the doctors how to take care of you? They're saying that's the only thing that's going to help this person is this drug. So, I mean, again, you got good doctors, they want to help, but they're being fed by this stuff. And it's also the crap that people eat, thinking that this is healthy. They got a diabetic, that's a Walmart, by the way. They got a diabetic section. This would, like, oh my gosh, you talk about messing up your blood sugar and putting chemicals. This is just, oh gosh, don't go to that section. That section should be, I don't know, banned, yes, right? The conventional nutrition, here's where you start really going nuts. I mean, this you do with love. You go nuts because once you understand that the system is set up for failure, and you know that people's lives are getting ruined by this is where you get mad. So it's okay to get mad. It's okay to get mad. Just don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad at me. The conventional recommendations from the ADA, the American Diabetic Association, will keep you a diabetic for the rest of your life. Guaranteed. You'll never get well. Because what they recommend is actually about between 40 and 65 grams of carbohydrates at each meal. Not including snacks. You should have snacks on you. You should have something that brings your sugar up. It's going to have a lot of carbs in it. Something's typically processed. You're going to do that. And we wonder why we get, and obviously the low fat. And then on top of that, they don't ever say you're going to reverse this. It's what it is. It's a progressive disease that gets worse over time. Heck yeah, if you follow that, it's going to get progressive. It's going to get worse your whole life. You're never getting better. And the other problem is, this is an awesome doctor, Dr. Sarah Hallberg. She did a TED Talk. It's a 20-minute talk. You should look this up. It's awesome on YouTube. Dr. Sarah Hallberg. Exactly what you're going to hear. One of her awesome comments, I had to put it on here. Diabetes is a state of carbohydrate toxicity. We're putting way too many in. Your body, oh gosh, you're going to love this. Your body, I want you to repeat this. Do you know how many grams of carbohydrates your body needs to actually make sugar? You know? Want to take a guess? Any guessers? Zero! It's zero. It doesn't need any grams of carbs to make sugar. Carbohydrates are actually not essential to your survival. Did you know that? Did you know that your body has a process called gluconeogenesis? Your body is so smart, it'll make its own sugar from protein in your body. It doesn't require, you could not put a carb in your life anymore in you, and you will live a healthy life. Oh, I know, I just rocked your world on that one. You do not believe me. It's okay. It's okay. Risk factors, again, we talked about this. I mean, when we talk about risk factors, again, it's not genetics. It is lifestyle induced. So if we do the same things our parents do, this is why it's so big. It's why in our office we're all about families. We're all about family health, making sure we're doing good stuff so we can lead by example with kids. Like, one of the cool things I love about my son is so picky on everything, which is a nightmare. Believe me, as a parent, you might know I'm talking about picky eaters. Oh, and trying to make him eat healthy, and he's picky, it's like to the next level. It's like we're like science experiments trying to figure out how to give him healthy food. But I can tell you this, like when somebody, because he's over at different families and relatives and friends' houses, and somebody it always happens. Somebody tries to give him something that's not healthy to eat, and he's just like, nope, it's not healthy. I don't want to eat it. But he's just so picky, and so part of him like, okay, he's not eating that stuff. But at least he's listening when we say, is that healthy? He asks us, is that healthy? Is that healthy, Mom? Is that healthy, Daddy? And I love it. So what I'm thinking about that right now, right? So facts about this, your body does not have to have glucose from your diet. It makes its own from protein. It makes its own, okay? Our essential minimum daily requirement for carbs is 0. It's 0. But you're told from the system that is telling everybody with diabetes how to live that you need 40 to 60 grams of carbs every meal. You're wondering why the average American takes in about 180 to 200 plus grams of carbs a day. They are a blood sugar maker. That's what that is. You don't need it. You don't need it. No, now here's the thing. Let me go back. Oh, okay, so I know one of you are thinking this. But aren't there carbs in vegetables, Dr. Wall? Well, yeah, there are. It's okay. I'm not talking about those carbs. Because you know what? They're like 1 or 2 grams. They're very low. If you can get your carb intake like in the single digits of grams per you're doing awesome. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the 40, 50 grams a serving of the grains or the corn or the sugar. That's what I'm talking about, those big three. You got to watch those. You do not need those to live. And you can actually do some awesome stuff. So you're thinking, what do I eat? I can't do it. What do I eat? Yes, you can, and you can do it good. I'm going to show you just a couple of, it's actually easier than you think. It is easier. You're going to be like, well, that's it? You thought I was going to I'm excited. I got a vacation coming up next week. So I love you guys, but you know what? I'm excited to get away. And so we're going to Disney World. That's what we do in our house. We're Disney buffs. And so I think some of you think that it's like Beauty and the Beast, where we have to put on this extravaganza, like we're cooking, we're doing all this fancy stuff. It's none of that. It's kind of boring, It's just simple. It's more simple than you think if you just follow the rules. But like I said, Sarah Halberg, awesome. You got to. She says the way you reverse diabetes is you ignore the guidelines of on diabetes. You ignore it. You do the opposite. And she's right on, right? You got to do this with the essentials. And again, in my office, that's kind of how you'll notice that our workshops, they're even though they're different themes, they come together really nicely, because the same things that help you reverse your diabetes are the same things that's going to help you balance your hormones. It's going to help you with your GI system. It's going to help you lose weight. They all go together. It's the same stinking rules. So it's kind of cool, isn't it? So if I tell you this enough, right, it's going to sink in like osmosis. It's going to do good. So with this, you got to understand, number one, your mindset. If I can get you to think this way, you are going to make a huge change in your life. I'm starting today. You will make a change. If you start believing this, all forms of diabetes can be affected by lifestyle and daily choices. That is half the battle. You got to believe you can do this. Because if you don't believe you can do this, I'm telling you, when the going gets a little tough, you don't stick on it. You got to be tough, mentally tough on this. You got to eat healthy. You got to do the advance. I'm getting into this stuff. You got to exercise. Did you know that your spine has a big deal of influence into your pancreas? Did you know that? I know that's like, what? We're talking about food. No, think about this. The only way that your brain tells your pancreas how to make insulin is through your nerves, through your spine. That's it. If I cut the nerves in half to your pancreas, you could eat all this great stuff. Guess what happens? It dies. It doesn't work. So there is a nerve component to it. We're going to talk about that. A lot of you that guests never even had that checked. You got to avoid and eliminate alcohol and tobacco. That's really big. And why is that big? Because alcohol is loaded with sugar. I know none of you drink. I'm just a heathen. I do it. It's just me. But understand, the drinks are loaded with sugar. More than you think. Actually, it's kind of scary. It's like 50, 60 grams of sugar. It's nuts. So tobacco, like we said, with diabetes, that risks your chance of cardiovascular disease anyways. And if you're diabetic, you're really prone for that. So just eliminate that stuff. I know it's hard. But man, you're going to feel better when you do it. So that's big stuff. Okay? Whole foods. What do I mean by that? Whole food. It doesn't come in a box. It's kind of easy, right? It doesn't come in a box. Close to the source as possible. That's what you want to focus on. High fat. This is so cool. If you look at things that spike your blood sugar on a graph, you'll see because there's only 3 macronutrients that you have. It's carbohydrates, it's protein, and fat. Those are macronutrients, and we need those. We need them. But with carbohydrates, when you eat them, it goes up really fast. It spikes the blood sugar and it crashes very fast. Protein takes a lot longer to get your blood sugar up, and it takes a lot longer to come down, so it's more of a stabilizer. But if you look at fat on a graph, fat it just keeps staying stable. It doesn't even go down. It just stays stable. So guess what? You get most of your energy not from carbs. You actually can get most of your energy from fat. It's actually a higher energy source. I know some of you are like, this guy is nuts. No, look it up. It's true. You can get it from fat. And also fat, your body is 2/3 fat. Your cells are lined with fat. Fat lines your nerve endings. We don't take enough of it in. So what we're talking about is how you eat foods that are actually high in fat. Healthy fat. Oh man, I am just rocking your world. Especially if you believe that you got to go low fat. You don't. You are asking for heart disease and cancer going low fat in your diet. I know it's tough. You're talking about, why aren't people saying this? A lot are. But you got to understand, low fat, that was started in the 70s. People still believe that 50 years later. It's like turning the Titanic with the way people think. So what I'm saying today and what I've said and what a lot of other smarter people than me say, this stuff will be taking effect, but it's going to be 20, 30 years before the population realizes that we screwed up with low fat. It's that bad, right? So you got to do that. You got to eliminate, this eliminates those cravings, the overeating, it eliminates those cravings like that because it's getting hormones to balance. Also, it's not a diet. It's just easier than you think. It really is. But this stuff is sneaky. Sugar's sneaky. Say sneaky. Sneaky. Gets in you in these weird ways. One is what you drink. And so guess what? An awesome way to eliminate like a third of your sugar intake is drinking what? Water. Wow, that's so hard, isn't it? Man. Sometimes it seems like that. Not in the summer though, right? Look, you're taking your water out. I love that, Miss Patty. Water, up your water. You need water. You don't need Coke. You don't need Diet Coke. You need water. You need water. You need water. Not coffee, water. Right? Up your water. 2/3 comes from the sauces, the box foods, the stuff that basically most of your box foods have multiple forms of sugar in it in one serving. It's not just sugar. It's fructose, it's maltodextrin, it's corn syrup, it's all that stuff. You add it up. Each one of those is taking a hit to your pancreas. That's how we get in trouble. That's how we get in trouble. It's in everything, man. It's in stuff that's touted as healthy. It's not. It's not. So why is this advanced plan? You hear me say advanced plan. It's not something super special. It's just following rules. So the advanced plan follows exactly these rules. You want to reduce your sugar intake. You want to completely stop the grains, right? The grains and the corn, stop that stuff. Let your body start healing up. You want to actually moderate your protein. You want to take a good amount in, but it's just not a high protein. It's not Atkins. It's not just a high protein diet. You want to do more, though. And you want to do a ton of fat. You want to go high fat. You want to remove the bad stuff because there are fats that are bad. The synthetic ones, the margarines, the hydrogenated oils. Those are all, vegetable oils, corn oils. That's all, terrible stuff. But you want to put the good stuff in, and a lot of it. A lot of it. That's the rules. And what's cool about the book, if you don't have this book, let me rephrase that. Get the book before you leave. Just do that. That's like half the thing. Half is just get the book, read it. It's easy. And then on the back of it are just tons of recipes following those rules. It's just how you make it. And you're like, man, I eat healthy. No, you don't. It's okay. Just most people don't. They think they do, but they're really not. But if you can prep the same foods you already eat, but you can make them a little differently, put in the healthier ingredients, and make the same thing, how cool is that? Because the stuff you already eat anyways. That's why this book is essential. So don't leave without it if you don't have it. It's huge. Okay? Healthy proteins and good fats. Again, all this is in the book, but just to make a point, change the meats. So start putting grass-fed meat. Why? Because grass-fed meat has a better fat content to it. It's got healthier omega-3 fats in grass-fed meat versus grain-fed and corn-fed beef. It's just a better form. That's not me talking. That's the Journal of Animal Science talking. This is scientists. They know what they're talking about, right? Free-range, antibiotic, growth hormone-free. It's like, you're like, duh, but that's in a lot of the meat. Non-farm raised fish, beef, bison, chicken, eggs, quality whey. So whey does come from cows, but where are those cows coming from? How are they being raised? That makes a difference. If you don't think it does, they don't do this. But just if you don't, would you have protein that came from cows that had mad cow disease? God, no. No. So you think it makes a difference what those cows are eating and how they are? Are they healthy? It makes a heck of a difference. So how do you know your whey protein is good? Well, number one, it's concentrated whey. It's not isolated, right? You don't isolate. It's not corn syrup. You don't want to do that, right? You want to make sure it's got, it's not high heat, denatured and then refortified. You don't want that. You don't want to have artificial sweeteners in it or high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, that's a rule. Like if the first ingredients are fructose corn syrup or artificial sweeteners, don't put that in your body. That's a good rule. But you also make sure the cows are taken care of. They're free ranging. They're grass fed. They're not given hormones and stuff. That's a quality whey. And whey has a great impact on your blood sugar levels anyways. Add these good fats in, olive oil, coconut, anything coconut, you're doing pretty awesome with. Avocado oil's great. These are oils that when you cook your food in them, you actually don't denature your food. Isn't that cool? And those oils, they're high heat oils. You can torch these things. They still retain their fat benefits. You actually still absorb that fat. That's why those are really good oils. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, omega-3 fats. These are fats that your body does not make without food. They're essential. Body cannot make them, and it cannot make them from another thing in your body. That's why they are essential. It's not carbs. So typical day. How does this look? It's kind of basic. Breakfast, whey plant protein smoothie or eggs. I mean, you're getting the metabolism going. It's not every day, but most days I do like a whey or plant. I actually do a scoop of each. In the morning, I do a smoothie. Lunch, salad, so you're getting vegetables with protein. Yeah, you put protein on it, yes. For dinner, guess what? Man, protein. And then also, you're going to have a couple servings of vegetables. I mean, it's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's really not. You're eating a lot of vegetables and a lot of protein, a lot of healthy meats. If you're vegetarian, you're getting high vegetable, like high content of protein in vegetables. Because there's a lot of good vegetables that have high protein content in them. So you can get it. It goes together. I'm telling you guys, you're looking at me like, it's that simple? It's that simple. A lot of you are looking at me like, why am I here? It's that simple. But it's that simple. It really is. Artificial sweeteners, every study on this stuff, if you're a Diet Coke drinker, and there's a lot of people that are, they just love it. But the thing on this, it's not a good study, but it is. I mean, the best one out there is they compare people drinking Diet Coke to people drinking regular Coke. They don't have all the artificial sweeteners in it. It's still bad, but they compared them for about 6 months, and the people drinking the Diet Coke gained more weight than the people drinking the real Coke. They gained more weight. Why does that happen? Well, because the artificial sweeteners, they elevate your fasting glucose levels, they decrease insulin sensitivity, and then they increase your visceral fat, meaning you see it on your body, increases the storage of fat. Those aren't good things, right? Those aren't good things. Just you guys know that. Don't drink artificial sweeteners. Don't drink that crud. Eliminate alcohol and tobacco. Again, alcohol is a sugar, and it does wreak havoc on your blood sugar controls. That's why a lot of people that are alcoholics, they typically are diabetic as well. Their blood sugar is through the roof. It's bad. So big stuff. Smoking, obviously, we obviously want to know. We don't want to smoke. That's kind of a given. I think most of us know that. What I'm going to talk about here, I don't want this replaced. This is take this for that. That's not what I'm saying with nutrition. You guys, if you're a patient, you know this. You know what I'm about to say here. If you're a guest, you don't. This is what I'm saying. I always say this at a workshop. I'm not saying treat diabetes with a supplement. That's not what I'm saying. But I am telling you this. If you are in that pre-diabetic, you're going to be pretty deficient in a lot of essential nutrients. And so the first thing you do is you start eating better. That's first. And it always is first. Secondly, is you start getting deficiencies back to normal. You just put good stuff in your body that your body will use to heal. That's where this nutrition comes in from. So something that is really big, I know, is because most people don't eat enough vegetables. We're deficient in what's called phytonutrients, food that comes from vegetables and plants. And so something that's really big is greens. Why? Because these are things that you typically don't eat. But phytonutrients, if you look them up, they do some great stuff. They actually can help make insulin a lot more sensitive to your cells, meaning you use it better, it absorbs. It is great for blood sugar balance. It's also phytonutrients. There's a lot of studies on them on just reducing inflammation in your body. That's a big deal. So reducing chronic inflammation, phytonutrients do that. So Max Greens it's a little scoop of it. You can mix it with your protein shake, and then boom, got it all in one thing. This is food. This is not a supplement. This is a whole food. So this stuff isn't really processed. It's a minimal process. It's not high heat. It's nothing like that. If you open that thing up and smell it, it's potent. You know what I'm talking about, patients. It's potent. Because it's very this has enzymes in it, this has probiotics in it, so those strands are not going to exist if it's high heat processed, so this is not that. So digestive enzymes also make it a lot easier on your pancreas to balance blood sugar. That's big, okay? GI, we talked a lot, and I can't think, it was a little bit last workshop, but I know the one before on detoxing, on the gut and gut health. We've done a lot of gut health stuff. Well, the more I look into gut health, the more I'm seeing that it's not just sugar that can create type 2 diabetes. It can be a leaky gut syndrome. There's a lot of growing body of evidence showing that bad digestive health over years can also cause an autoimmune response. And a lot of people, if you look at a lot of doctors, they'll say that type 2 diabetes is more an autoimmune type of a disease than anything, than just a blood sugar disease. It's an autoimmune type of problem. Well, if you look at a healthy type of gut, how do you heal up the gut? We have something called Max GI. It's got a lot of functions to it, but anything that has like magnesium and chromium, that's what the GI has. It's really big. Magnesium and chromium are really big with blood sugar balance. It helps assist in that process. And if you don't know, if you've never done magnesium before, it also has a calming effect on the body. It has a calming effect on your bowels. Some of you know that from magnesium. What does that mean? That means you're probably going to go to the bathroom. If you take it at night, you're going to go in the morning. It's a good thing. But that's what it has, those important nutrients in it. Whey protein, we talked about this. Obviously, the source is what it's all about. The source. If you can get concentrated whey, grass-fed, because whey is always going to come from cows. That's big. So you can get it in a concentrated form, grass-fed, no hormones. What's cool about that, there's no casein protein in that. So a lot of people are allergic to casein. A lot of people are allergic to lactose. So this is lactose and casein-free. It's really big. So a lot of people that, like, says typically I don't do really good with dairy, but I do really good on that whey. It doesn't affect me in a bad way because it's a clean source. So whey, huge, supports healthy blood sugar levels over time as well. Another big thing is omegas. Now, we talked about something a while ago. I've thrown a lot at you today, but it was in the beginning. Omegas can really help your blood sugar tolerance, meaning it helps it not spike so much. It kind of helps it level out. But omega-3 fats are also really big if you have high triglycerides and low HDL. Remember, those are kind of markers for pre-diabetes and diabetes. If you're in that category where your HDL is kind of low and your triglycerides are kind of high, you need to double up on omegas. You need to take more omega-3 stuff. So if you can't take fish, not everybody can do fish. I get it. This is actually half fish and half plant-based, so you get a lot of it. You get both. But you can do chia seeds. You're going to have to do a lot of chia seeds. But chia seeds, it's probably the best non-animal source for omega-3s is chia seeds. And they're really easy. I put those in my shake every morning. I give those to my son. That's how he is able to do his omegas, because he doesn't like... he's so little he can't do the omegas. But that's how I make sure he gets omega fat in his body. I do chia seeds. I load them up. I give him a whole tablespoon in his smoothie. But it's blended up. He can't taste it. He just drinks his smoothie. It's awesome. It's really cool. So parents, great way to get nutrition to your kids. Blend the stuff up. They can't taste it and they like it. It's good. It's smart. I'm in that 4 and 1 year old. We're doing everything we can. Max Fit. This is more of a fitness, but at the same time, it's really great because it has something called decaffeinated, so there's no caffeine in the extracts of these coffee beans. And what's cool about that is on studies show that you do this at each meal, it prevents the spiking in the blood sugar. It really helps get it back into a normal range. So this is something that you can do each meal. And it also has a lot of ashwagandha in it, which is kind of a cool thing because that is actually shown to help with getting cortisol levels. So stress, that's also a big factor. It helps kind of get the stress levels down. So again, stuff to help just feed the body. That's all it is just feeding the body with that. Exercise, I was going to go there, right? Exercise, huge. But I don't exercise. I don't want to. I don't have the time. Stop. Yes, you do. You got to make the time. You have to. But guess what? I know you can make 20, 30 minutes for your exercise. It doesn't have to be 2-3 hours. It doesn't have to be 2-3 hours. Be 20 minutes. And a lot of that's just breathing. Like half of it's breathing. Because really you're only working out for 10 minutes. But did you know that there's different ways to exercise? There's smart ways, and then there's the ways that a lot of people it's kind of grueling. You don't have to cycle for hours. You don't have to do a marathon. You don't have to do that stuff to get to exercise. You can do 20, 30 minutes of what's called HIIT training, high intensity, short duration. You can do, or surge or burst. It all means the same thing. You can do that. So what's cool is they've done studies on that type of training, the high intensity type of training. So they did a study over 3,000 obese people, Every single person higher than 25 BMI, so they were all in that obese range, with impaired glucose tolerance, exercise provided to be far superior to the popular diabetic drug metformin by a whopping 3-to-1. Just with exercise, just straight up working out, because your body will utilize glucose better if you're working out. We have a good program, and this is really cool because it's digital. So if you've ever I don't have the time, I travel a lot, excuse killer, you can put it on your phone. All you gotta do is have an internet connection. I know you take your laptop if you travel. Yes, you do. You know you do. You take your laptop, you take your phone, it's right there. It's right there. It's so easy. And you don't need weights. You can do it with your own body weight. And how many of you have actually been to a workout class at our office? Raise your hand. Yeah, look at you proud people. It's like a badge of honor that they have. Because Dr. Mitchell works you, doesn't she? It's okay. She works you. She's good at it. But it's only 20 minutes. Doesn't feel like it, right? It feels like you're there longer, but it's 20 minutes. She does T3 every day, every Saturday morning in our office. And you know what? It is a workout. Ask them that come. So if you've never done it, I invite you. Come on a Saturday morning, try it out. I promise you, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I can see why that's effective. But if you start doing it now, you can't just do it once a week. It's not how that works. You can't eat good once a week and do 6 days of trash. You can't do that, right? It's not like that commercial where they did a sit-up and they're like, done, I don't have to do any more. It's not like that. Man, would that be cool if that was the case? No, it's not. It's a pipe dream. But if you do about, 3 to 6 days a week of that, just that alone will make some significant changes in your blood sugar levels. It's very effective. Very effective. If you do other things, you can add this in. Add this in one or two of these things. If you cycle or swim or something like that, or if you hit the gym a lot, don't do this first. You won't finish your workout. Do this on a different day. Do this last. But it's very powerful stuff. So the best time to do any type of exercise, it really is the morning. That's like the thing you didn't want me to say, right? You want me to tell you like late at night? No. If you exercise at night, typically you don't sleep so good because you still have hormones that are changing, and obviously your body's in that adrenaline state. So it's really good to do it in the morning. And anybody that has kids, guess what? You know what's coming out of my mouth. If you don't do anything like that in the morning, guess when you're going to do it? You're not going to do it. Yeah, it's not happening. I have a 4 and a 1-year-old. I can promise you that. I hate getting up early. I do. Is anybody else with me on that? Hate it? Okay, I'm not a cyborg. I'm with you. I hate it. I mean, there's really maybe one day I'm like, all right, I feel okay. I want to get up and do this. I'm exhausted every morning. Getting up though. But when you get up at 4:30 in the morning, I don't think anybody loves that. Maybe Dr. Lerner, but not me. But I always feel better when I'm done. And I feel better not just because I did it, it's because it's done. I don't have to worry about it the rest of the day, and I can hang out with my family. But it's worth it to me to get up and do it. The best time is to do it. And also, scientifically, it is the best time because you're in that fasting state, you exercise, it actually has a good impact on your blood sugar levels the rest of the day. So there's a science to it, but you know what? If you can't do it early in the morning, guess what? Just do it. Just do it. Find a time, but you got to schedule it, because if you don't schedule it to be done, just like if you don't make time to prepare something in your house to eat, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to happen. It's going to be tempting when you don't have food prepared to go to McDonald's. It's tempting. I walk out, we have Chick-fil-A in front of my office. I hate that place. I hate it. But you know what? There's some days I walk out, I'm like, oh man, that smells good. It's terrible. And I know it's bad. So I'm the same. Don't think I get up here and this is impervious to it. No, it's a hard thing for me. So I need to make sure that I got stuff at my house ready to go. And quick meals too, quick meals. So you're like, can I have a muffin? Yes. Did you know that you can? You can have muffins. You can have cookies. You can do this stuff. You don't use wheat flour. You use almond flour. You use coconut flour. You use flax. You use stuff that actually has protein in it. It has a health benefit to it. You can put a little stevia in it. It's a plant sweetener. Doesn't raise your insulin levels, your blood glucose levels. You can do stuff and eat this food. You can make a healthy cake. You can do the stuff you like to do, but you're doing it in a better way. And you're getting nutrients out of it. How cool is that? So you can do this. So how does the spine influence sugar? We said it's simple. Your brain tells your pancreas how to make sugar. or make insulin to take sugar into your cells. That's how it works. Just like the way your heart beats is from your brain. Your brain has to tell. This isn't some crazy stuff. This is just science. This is just fact. Your brain tells your heart how to beat. Your brain tells your lungs how to breathe. Your brain tells your colon how to digest food and eliminate food. Your brain tells your arms to move. It tells your legs to move, right? Do you understand how powerful it is? Did you know that your brain and your nerves, your spinal cord, it's the only system that's totally encased in bone? The only system that's totally... Why? Because it's that important. If I cut the nerves that go to your heart in half, you don't have to be a scientist. What happens to you pretty quick? You die. Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. You thought I was going to wow you with like some research study. It's that simple. Enough research. It's that simple. If you squeeze the nerves that go to your heart, do you think your heart's going to work at 100%? I mean, really, do you think that? No. It can't. It's stressed. Now, it's going to adapt. It's going to work harder to do the same function. But your body, and it'll do that for a while because God made you pretty awesome to adapt to stress. You don't think I'm lying? Just think about how much we beat ourselves up and we still function. I mean, even with diabetes, your body is still healing you. It's keeping you alive and functioning for sometimes 40, 50 years. That's an awesome thing. That's how we're designed. But it follows this rule here. Your body doesn't need help to heal you. It's designed to do that. What it needs is for us not to interfere with our healing. And we're really good at that, me included. Like I'm like the world's worst. I fail miserably at this. I beat myself up every day, all the time. Like I'm good at beating myself up. So that system, you have that protection there for protection. You got a skull that completely surrounds your brain, so it's protected. You got these 24 bones called the spinal column. They surround your nerves and protect it from getting crushed. So does it make sense? There's a normal position that your spine needs to have. And it's a little different. Your skull is different than these spinal bones. These spinal bones have holes in them. They have to. Your spinal cord goes inside all these bones. So there's a big hole all in each of these bones all the way down to protect. And you got these little holes for the nerves to come out and go to your arms, your heart, your lungs. So your spine needs to be in a certain spot so the holes are big. So nothing's getting squeezed and crushed. I know it's simple, right? Simple. But something that's so simple, man, we're good at messing it up. So what's normal? Straight up and down from the front's normal. From the side is curved. Yeah, you're actually supposed to have 3 of them. I know you probably didn't know that, but you do. Neck, mid-back, lower back. And if something happens, and there's a million ways. It's not just a trauma. You know, the first thought people think is trauma. Heck yeah, they'll do it. I've had 4 concussions. That's a fast way to mess up your neck. Have a concussion. Have an auto accident. A lot of you know about this. But I'm talking about this. You're at a computer. Yeah, everybody just said yes, because you know what I'm talking about. 40, 50, 60-hour weeks doing this every day. That's called micro trauma. And you don't feel it right away. But you do that for a few months or a few years or for 10 years or 20, don't get me going. And you start noticing that you can't feel your fingers really well anymore. Or you have pain in your hands. You can't grip. Or you're having this hump that's forming right here, right? It's not fat. Newsflash. That's inflammation. That's a nerve sign of nerve damage. That's what that is. Your head starts going, shoulders start getting pulled in. Why? You start having a thyroid issue. You start having GERD or reflux. Why me? It's not that God doesn't love you. He loves you. The problem is we are creating our own problem, right? It's like if I jump off a cliff, I can pray to God all day to save me, right? And you know what? Very well could do it. But you know what's going to happen most of the time when I do that? Because I'm defying that law of gravity that he put on this earth. Guess what's happened to me? I'm going to face the consequence from that. So our posture, our spine, it structure equals function. That's what it's all about. So your spine can become subluxated. You can lose the curve in your neck. And you might think that hurts. A lot of people do. And sometimes it does hurt. Absolutely. But when you understand anatomy, this is shocking. Your spinal cord doesn't feel pain. Don't believe me? Look this stuff up. I love it. Challenge you. Look it up. Challenge me. Look it up. Doesn't feel pain. You can cut it, feel nothing. That's not good. And then these nerves, 6% of them have pain fibers. The other 90% plus don't. So this happens to a lot of people, and like I said, it's sneaky. Say sneaky. Sneaky. It can be 5, 10, 15 years. You don't even know what's going on. But you start having these symptoms, these warning signs, but you've never been told that the thing that's creating these symptoms is actually coming from your spine. It's not just, something else causing it. This gets people into trouble. It really does. So you think about it. Well, what do these nerves control? Just in your neck alone, listen to this. Your balance, your blood flow. So what does that mean? That means your blood flow to your brain. So your blood pressure is controlled by the nerves in your neck. Do you know that? Do you know that your lungs, breathing, top of the neck, vagus nerve? Did you know that your throat is controlled by the nerves in the base of your neck? Your thyroid gland, middle of your neck, those are your nerves. I cut those nerves to your thyroid gland, we're going to have a hormone problem because it's not going to work. It's that simple. Arms, hands, that's just your neck. But you think about this all the way. The spine, there's so many ways that we can do this, but your spine can subluxate. They can get crushed. And a lot of people don't notice this. Some do, for sure. But you got to understand something. In our office, we're all about prevention. We're all about not waiting. We don't want to be reactive, but it happens. That's just our culture is reactive. Until it affects us and we can't stand it, then we do something about it. We want to be a little more proactive, right? Let's not get to where the fire's going off. Let's start getting preventative. Let's make sure this stuff doesn't even get to that point. And so that's huge. I want to help you if you're a guest, and I want to help you in a big way. We have this folder. It's red, real simple. You have a red folder, look at it. That's how that works. And you have this health assessment form. This is for you. It's not for me, it's for you. And I really believe that you're here because you want to get to another level of health. It's got to be more than just getting some blood sugar change. It's got to be. It's got to be about getting healthy. Will your blood sugar change when you're getting healthy? Yes, but you got to get healthy. Don't think single-minded on this. It's a big picture. What I have on this assessment form, this is for you. You have these symptoms here. Why do I have these down? Most common things I see in my office with nerve damage. Structural spine damage can create this in the body. So you need to look at it, and what you need to do is circle. If it's going on with you, be honest with yourself. Be honest. If you're circling 2, 3 of these things, guess what? The next thing's coming out of my mouth. You need to have your spine checked properly. If you're circling more than that, you're circling like 4 or 5, some people have had people circle them all. It's not a question of if, it's you need to get it checked yesterday, right? Start getting healthy, because you know who's in control of this? You are, and you can do something about that. You can do something about that. I can't preach that enough. You can do something about it. Circle it. Put your name on it. Put your best contact number on it. And down below, I have 3 days, these next 3 days in my office that we're open to check you. I'm going to open up our office. Some of these times we're actually closed in the office. We're going to stay to check you. That's how committed our team is to help. And so what you're going to do is you're going to circle a time. That is your time in our office to get checked. Now, I want to make this very awesome for you as well. Look, you're here. Typically having exam and x-rays done in my office, because a lot of people do need x-rays, that's over $100 for that to be done. I'm going to comp that entire thing. We're having we're having a canned food drive next week in my office. A lot of you know this because you have like your patients know about this. I'm going to extend that same thing to you that are guests here today. If you bring in $30 worth of canned food items to donate to the Tarrant Area Food Bank, we do this twice a year. My wife and me donate every month, but we do canned drives every year. We do 2 of them. We did about 600 pounds last June. We want to beat that, because Thanksgiving ain't the only day people need to eat. You guys get that? Like, people are hungry the whole time, so we want to help them in the summer. If you bring in $30 of canned food, I'll do the exam and x-rays on you. There won't be a fee for that. Just bring the donation. Bring a receipt so we know you didn't just clear out your cupboard. You actually went and actually got some stuff that's not expired. Don't get expired food. You know what I'm talking about. I hate to say this, but it has happened before. Don't bring expired food. Don't bring food you've already eaten either. Please don't do that. I know. God bless those people. You think I'm joking. I'm not. I'm not joking. But put this down. That's your time, and commit to that time. That's all I ask. Commit to it, meaning if you circle it, you're there. We're going to call you. We're going to love on you. but don't take from somebody else that needs us and they can't get in because you took their time. Don't do that. So pick the time, be there. Our office, very transparent. I mean, there's no pressure in our office. We're going to help if you want to be helped. I'll do an exam. So Dr. Mitchell will do all your exam the first day. It's all about testing. If you do have nerve damage, we're gonna x-ray you to find out what's causing it, right? And so we can help you with that. And we'll bring you back to do an adjustment. We need to take pressure off. You need to see how you handle that. So do I. That's important. Everybody handles it differently. Based on how you heal, we'll bring you back for a third appointment to go over everything. Recommendations, how we're going to help you, what to expect. I mean, it's your choice if you want to be a patient or not. Be part of our family. I love it. If you don't, hey, God bless you, man. But you'll never have, we will spend a lot of time with you to try to get you to that state of health you want to get to, but you can do it. You can do it. My team's going to come up and get these from you. Jordan and Tiffany, they're going to walk up. There's love on them. They're going to hand them to, and they're going to give you a packet of paperwork. I know, don't freak out. It's easy. They're going to give you a packet. Let me give you some awesome advice. Fill it out tonight. Take your time with it. Sometimes in the office, it takes people 30 minutes to fill it out. It might take you longer. That's okay, but I would rather save you time in my office filling it out if you just did it ahead of time. You'll thank me if you're not there that long, so it's good. So do that. Fill it out. They'll give you that. Really, really big. Also, I want to give, if this is for everybody, your folders as well. You have this. You have this 30-day challenge. So I want to make sure you guys all got it. Can you show me that you have it? Hold it up. No, I'm serious. I'm not going to hold this down. I'm not going to even go further till I know you have it. Okay, hold it up. That's not everybody. You guys are doing better, but hold it up. Hold it up, hold it up. Okay, good. This is your 30-day challenge. I tried to make this as simple as I could to follow. And so this first page is kind of the guidelines on it, but obviously you need the book because your meals are laid out here from day 1 to day 30. And you can check out, you can actually, it has different recipes, different things to do. The first page, it shows you the smoothie recipes you can do. It has the exercise plan. Again, go to maxt3.com. You can do that tonight and get that for, by the way, it's $10 to get the actual, to get almost a month worth of different workouts. I mean, stuff that will blow you away. If you did it every day, it would take you a month to get back to the first one. You get for $10. $10. Don't go to McDonald's tonight on the way home. Get it. $10. maxt3.com. And seriously, if you have any issue with that, let us know. We're awesome at showing you how to get through that, navigate it. But follow it. The supplements that go with this, this is the 30-day challenge. This is the supplements that go with it. Now I put it in here and I put them when to take. I want to make that easy too, because we get questions like, when do I take this one? It's all there. When to take it. Streamline it, make it very, very easy to follow. This last page I really do like as well, because this is one that I would make a few copies because it's really like a day-to-day page, and it's kind of put it on your fridge, and you can actually fill this thing out every day. Really easy. You can talk about, it has your healthy choices of water, like how many glasses of water did you do, how much good fat servings, how many vegetables did you do your supplements, just checkbox. So you're on track. Some of us need that. The exercise, what did you do exercise, what did you do, the different types of things you have for breakfast. It's just make 4 of these and put them up each week and just cross them out when you do it. I promise you by 30 days, if you just do this, I call it, and I don't mean this to offend anybody, sometimes we call it a wallism, like Dr. Wallism. It's just, I say stuff, it's okay, ask my wife, I get corrected every day. But I say just do it stupid. What does that mean? Just do it, just follow it. It's like the KISS technique, right? Kiss it, keep it simple. Yeah, I'm talking about me too. I need things just laid out for me. I do. I work better that way. So just keep it simple, follow it. Very, very, very big. And obviously with that, let me get to this. This is what you want to, the big notes here. Get in your head, why are you wanting to do this? Really, why? And then change your thought process, change the software you're running on. So you heard a lot of new stuff. We're recording this. This will be edited. This is going to be put up on our website, our Facebook page, and Vimeo. I got them both. So if you don't do Facebook, I know some people don't. But we have it on Vimeo. You can watch this, edit it. It's going to be awesome. And not just this one, but any class we've done this last year and a half is all on Vimeo. And it's free to watch. Just watch it, share it. It helps people, right? Watch it again and again. Simplify your meals. It doesn't have to be, be our guest. It doesn't have to be, elaborate. Just make it simple. Make exercise a priority. Definitely get it on your schedule. That's huge. And then obviously take care of your spine, take care of your nervous system. This is big. This isn't just for blood sugar. This is for just overall health. Even if you don't have diabetes, this stuff will help you. Guess what? In a month of doing this, you'll feel better. You'll lose weight. You'll be excited. I mean, how cool is that? It's a big deal. So make sure you take care of that. And then patience. We have our outreach week. It's not a day. It's an entire week next week. Yes, it's a short week next week because I'm gone. But even Thursday and Friday, we are still going to be, my team, they'll be doing exams on family and friends. We really want to make this a big outreach day or week and a big thing for the food bank. So again, even if you don't have family and friends you want to bring to have their exams done, if you can bring some canned food and spare that, we would be so appreciative because people really need that stuff, especially in the summer. It's actually worse in the summer for hungry people than in Thanksgiving because they're really sparse during the summertime. So this really helps. We got the stuff at the front, but we want to fill that stuff up real good, but that's happening. If you don't have my email address, I want to give it to you. If you have questions, my email address is gateway D as in dog, C as in cat @gmail.com. That's mine, so you can reach me. Any questions you have, ask me on this. This is going to be up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, it'll be up. And when it is up, we post it. We'll put it up in the office that it's up so you can watch it, rewatch it, and share it. But, everything we're talking about supplement-wise, if you're a guest, we always want to reward people for taking time to be here. So everything is actually marked down. You have an order form in there. It's all marked down. But the bundle, it's really marked down. I think we took $40 off the bundle. Pretty awesome. So you get a lot of savings there too, just so you know. But I think I've covered everything. Oh, our next workshop is going to be big. It's going to be, I want to say it's going to be focused on kids' health. And then I'm going to do something really weird, but in a good way. In September, I'm going to have a couple of options, and I'm going to have you guys select what you want me to do and talk about in September. Is that cool? It's going to be a your choice class. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to have about 4 different topics, and we'll vote on which one we want to do, and that's going to be our topic for September. So, all right. Amen, guys. God bless you. Have a good